Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about some of the baseline conditions. And the purpose of this is just so that everyone is kind of operating and having the same level of knowledge and information. So this may be information that you already know, but it's pretty amazing. I mean, tourism is happening. The state of New Mexico visitation set a new record last year, which was the last completed year, of over 34 million trips. And the 2017 is on track to probably surpass those numbers. People are coming to New Mexico. Since 2011, tourism-related spending in New Mexico has increased by $782 million, or about 14% from 2011, which was kind of the end of the recession when people started traveling again, through 2016. And we see a lot of that growth in the national parks. So Bandelier National Monument, the visitors spent in 2016 $12.5 million in the local gateway regions, and the Park Service defines a local gateway region of a radius of about 60 miles from a park entrance. So that this money didn't just go to Los Alamos, but places like Santa Fe would be included in the recipient of those tourism dollars. As I mentioned, people are not only coming to New Mexico, but they're coming to Los Alamos. Last year, Bandelier National Monument had about 200,000 visitors. The White Rock Visitor Center, right there towards the entrance of Bandelier, had almost 90,000 visitors. The Bradbury Science Museum, about 81,000 visitors. The Fuller Lodge and the History Museum campus saw over 51,000 visitors. And you can read the rest of the numbers of visitors here on this slide, but people are coming. Tourism is happening here. And the thing of note here is the Manhattan Project National Historic Park, which, as you know, is brand new. And so that's why we have this number of kind of approximately 10,000 visitors. They're just now starting to kind of come last year to the Visitor Center in downtown Los Alamos by Ashley Pond. And we certainly anticipate more visitors in the future when the actual sites are open up and accessible to the public. We see the economic results of the tourism. So here's the cumulative numbers of people visiting starting back in 2013 at 291,000, projected this year at 510,000, and continuing to increase. With the lodger's tax revenue, so you probably know this, but lodger's tax revenue are what visitors pay when they spend the night. So hotels and motels and other accommodations collect the lodger's tax. And the lodger's tax here in Los Alamos has continued to increase. And this is despite the fact that they've lost about 140 beds since 2013. So we have fewer beds, but the revenue, the tax revenue, has been able to increase. So all of these trends are really positive. We have a record number of visitors coming to New Mexico, increased visitation to Bandelier year after year. There's 2 new national parks in the area, and that's phenomenal. So Valles Caldera and the Manhattan Project is really an amazing thing that there's so many places that would love to have 2 new national parks right outside their door. But the fact that Los Alamos County just isn't leveraging all of this potential and the opportunities that it's bringing. And that's why we're here to work on this strategic plan for tourism. There's amazing assets here in the Los Alamos area that are attractive to visitors. Things like the national parks that I just mentioned, the Bradbury Museum, the Fuller Lodge and the History Museum, the Nature Center, the ski area, which is not, certainly has skiing in the winter, but also amazing mountain biking in the summer. And you really can't underestimate the impact that Los Alamos National Labs has in the kind of the visitor impact. So there are people who come to the labs and they are staying in Los Alamos, and they get to see the beauty and get to see the small town charm and the friendly people. So they will come back with their family next time for a vacation. And as we've been told, many of the folks that are here as visitors to the labs, either as contractors or other types of visitors, many of them come to Los Alamos to live. There's also really important things that enhance the visitor experience, and those tend to be kind of services and facilities. So transportation, information, the visitor centers play a really important role in that. And then there's things that people do in addition to maybe what they came for. So maybe they came to go to the Bradbury Science Museum, but while they're here, they decide to go hiking for an afternoon. Or they take the historic walking tour around town. And then the views are stunning. And so these are things that help create a memorable experience for visitors. And there's lots of activities and events that are here in Los Alamos. And, Science Fest is certainly kind of the biggest event. But there's also a lot of sporting races, and some of those are single day, some of them are multi-day. There's the concert series. Some of these events and activities today are maybe geared more towards residents, but many of these things are also attractive to visitors. The purpose of this slide is really just to show you a pretty unusual situation that is really beneficial in Los Alamos, and that is that there are so many things that people want to see that are centrally located. So you have so many of these things right in downtown Los Alamos. So you're able to walk from one place to the other, or take the trolley from Bradbury up to Fuller Lodge. But it's really great. You're able to park once and go see all of these things. And then a short distance away is White Rock and the things to do in White Rock and the entrance to Bandelier. In thinking about the regional context, this is important because many of the visitors that are coming to Los Alamos today are day visitors. And that happens for a lot of reasons. And as I mentioned earlier, one of them is the lack of lodging. But Los Alamos is really in the center of a lot of places from where day visitors would come. So not just Santa Fe, but Taos and New Mexico and, and Albuquerque. So lots of potential there. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about scenarios. So this is the idea of where are we going? What do we want to do? This is alternative futures, or if you think about Councilor O'Leary's comments about crossroads, the scenarios are kind of different roads that we could take. It's important to note that none of these scenarios are recommendations. Scenarios are simply a way to organize ideas. When this plan is completed, there will not be one of these scenarios that is part of the recommendation. The way the process is designed is that they'll be the best or the most important or the most relevant pieces out of each scenario that get combined into the final recommendation. So in explaining the scenarios, the first one, scenario A, is stay the course. Just keep doing what you're doing. And you're doing a lot. So you're seeing the outcome of that is continued increase with visitation to national parks. You continue to have kind of mostly day visitors, but it's probably not enough increase to really have an impact on more lodging or restaurants or retail. It's just kind of your current pace of things projected into the future. And the things that get you there, so the tactics or actions, or the current marketing efforts that are going on, and implementing the branding plan that is already underway. So just keep on doing what you're doing. Scenario B is upgrading the tourism services. So this is still targeted for day visitors, but it's taking the marketing efforts and making them kind of increasing the breadth and depth of them in a more strategic way. So having more coordination between entities, a common events calendar, similar cohesive marketing message about Los Alamos and why you would want to come here and what you do while you're here. And tactics to do that, I mean, you're already doing gateway to 3 national parks. You could do that broader and deeper. Improve the visitor center, improve information to the tour operators, particularly those that are based out of Albuquerque. So this is really more having more strategy in the marketing efforts. Scenario C, the changes here would enhance the community for visitors, but residents as well. So this would be an effort to, the outcome of this is to have more lodging, which is going to bring more overnight visitors, which will contribute to the county revenue. And having more overnight visitors is going to create more vibrancy. It will provide the people that are needed to support the local businesses, to help the restaurants stay open longer and on more days, to bring a more variety of retail. And this would result in redevelopment of some of the blighted areas in the downtown area. Some of the tactics is bringing incentivizing a range of lodging options, expanding the reach for marketing. So we're now not just marketing, we're not marketing to the day visitors, we're marketing to those who are coming from a distance. And I'm going to interchange the words overnight visitor with destination visitor. So the destination visitor is someone who stays 1 or more nights. And that is the target market for Scenario C. You would take some of these events and activities and expand them, or maybe even create new ones. There'd be multi-day events, whether they're sporting events or festivals, and improve trails. There's many, many things that you could do that would enhance the community for the visitors and the residents. And so Scenario D is really taking those Scenario B and C. So you're going to be more strategic about the marketing for the day visitor as the target market, but then also do all the things that would be needed to increase the destination visitors, that overnight multi-day visitor. And so that's kind of the list, all the things that I mentioned under Scenario B and C creates this fourth alternative. So I'll have some questions about the scenarios in just a minute, but before we go to that, this is a reminder of the next step. So for those of you who are online right now, you've found this website, tourismplan.com. Encourage your friends and colleagues to get online and take part in this survey before September 18th. There will be another public forum in October that we will be asking you for some prioritization of some of these strategies and have a different level of questions and seeking some different type of input. And then there will be a presentation to council followed by a plan adoption. So now I will conclude my part of this presentation and allow you time to answer the remainder survey questions. These are primarily about the scenarios that we just presented, and there's a couple of more questions as well. And the final question is, we'd love to learn about how you heard about this survey being online. So please let us know that so we know the best way to reach you for future information. So thanks again for your time, and we look forward to seeing your responses.